Hey guys, Brian delivers you the goods here. I'm returning to you for another TV show review. This is actually going to be for House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 6 review that I'm going to be reviewing for you guys. And yeah, this actually is an episode where they decided to time skip. I did mention that they were going to do that. In one of the episode reviews, I said there'd be a time skip. The time skip goes from 10 years later into the future, so of House Targaryen and all that, and what's to become of it and all that. So, yeah, this is for episode 6 review. I think it's called The Princess and the Queen. So, after this episode, there's only 4 more episodes left that I'm going to be reviewing, so I'm going to discuss what I watched for season 1, episode 6 of House of the Dragon and let you know my thoughts on it. So let's dive into this episode review. Now, basically, it's different cast members. Olivia Cooke plays Alicent Hightower, and Rhaenyra is played by Emma D'Arcy, I believe is her name. It's not the. They had to say goodbye to the older cast because that was for the time for the first 5 episodes, and now we're getting into the second half of this season, the start of the second half of the season, where things are gonna get really intense and possibly pretty good. Because I actually didn't hate this episode. I think it was a pretty good episode. I wouldn't say it's better than the new Lord of the Rings episode, but it has its pretty good moments. And there were some things unexplained a bit in this episode that could have been explained a little more with certain scenes, but other than that, I think it's a pretty good episode. Um, it has some political sides to it, but the aspect about the whole uh, trying to name heirs and for kings and queens and all that, and also Alicent Hightower and Rhaenyra are kind of bickering towards each other with on the political downside to things. And basically in this episode you see Daemon has a wife named Laena of Driftmark or whatever. So yeah, Laena Velaryon, I believe is her name, and Laenor is married to Rhaenyra, but they made an agreement years ago saying that he can sleep with whoever he wants as long as he commits to his duties and all that with his wife Rhaenyra. So they have some kind of understanding or whatever. But pretty much that was 10 years before, and this is 10 years later into the future. So basically, I think this episode did pretty well. I was a little bit more pleased with this one than the last one. And they have Sir Criston in this episode, which I thought he was long dead or a while ago. But no, he's still serving as the Kingsguard. And basically, it was like, why is he still a Kingsguard when we know he killed someone years ago? So it showed it in the last episode of episode 5 before the time skip happened, which I think the first half of the season was going to be uh, explaining the older days, 200 years before the actual Game of Thrones happened, and now it's gone 10 years into the future, so it's building up to the Game of Thrones series in due time. Probably not at the time, but in due time. And sorry, it's thundering where I'm at because it's about to rain again. But basically, overall, I think this episode was good. Otto Hightower's in this episode. Towards the end of the episode, of course. So, and one of the Harrenhal Harrenhal gets burned down in this episode, which is pretty messed up, but it does happen. And basically, Rhaenyra does leave to go to Dragonstone in due time towards the end of the episode. So basically, this had some political moments, and then it had some action scenes in this one, but the execution for this episode was much better than I thought, in my personal opinion. So overall, I think episode 6 of season 1 of House of the Dragon was an enjoyable episode. It was better than the last one. Even though the last 2 episodes I watched were not very well received, but that was just my opinion. I still think that it could have been worked on a bit, but on the downside, I think this episode did pretty well for what it was going for and explained a lot more and went into more detail with how the episode is what the episode is trying to explain to the viewer watching it. So first score for me, I'm giving episode 6 of season 1 of House of the Dragon an 8.5 out of 10. It was a pretty good watch. I really thought it was a pretty good watch of an episode and can't wait to see next week's episode. So hopefully they make the second half a little better, because towards the end of the first half of the season it has its moments where it slipped up. But I guess episode 5 tried to pick it back up with the last episode. And sorry about that thunder. It really is raining, or about to rain where I'm at. But still, comment below. Let me know what you guys thought of the House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 6 review if you enjoyed it. I did the best I could to explain what I could in this episode. I forgot to leave out at the beginning of the episode, Rhaenyra has to push or whatever, or something like that, because she's giving birth to a new child. And they call him Joffrey. I was like concerned, like, oh god, someone named Joffrey. I'm like, that's not a good sign. But I think this was years before the actual Joffrey came to power in the Game of Thrones series. But yeah, if you did enjoy this episode review for House of the Dragon Season 1 Episode 6 review, comment below and let me know your thoughts on it. Tap a like on this video if you liked it. Subscribe to my channel if you can. Support the channel. I don't know if I said that a second time, but basically, yeah. I will be returning to you for a track review for Godsmack Surrender. I'm going to be reviewing that, but having it premiered tomorrow, or at least late tomorrow sometime. And I will be doing a Twitch live stream tonight. I don't know what time, but I'll keep you posted on when I do it. But until then, I hope you enjoyed this episode 6 review for House of the Dragon. I will be reviewing episode 7 next week. I think it'll be for October 2nd. So definitely tune into that. I might be working that day because I have to make up a day because I'm going to a concert on the 1st. If it's still going on. I gotta wait and see what happens, but with this storm coming, Tropical Storm Ian or whatever, I gotta wait and see what happens with that. But until then, hope you enjoyed this episode 6 review for House of the Dragon. Did the best I could to explain it as best as I could and go into a little bit of detail on what I watched with this episode. So stay safe, take care, and as always, I will see you in my next review.